All right, my little math friends, we are moving into chapter 5 now. And chapter 5 is going to be about these things, percents, and we're going to do some different things with percent. Um, but first of all, we're going to talk about what a percent is and how to change numbers into a percent. Okay, now I'm going to be honest with you. I like percents. They seem to make sense to me. Like if you had a number like 75%, okay, I like them better than fractions. I like them better than decimals. They just seem to kind of make sense. So let's talk about this. What is a percent? Uh, Percent is a way of comparing a situation using a number out of 100. Okay, it's a way people talk about a situation by using a number compared to 100. All right, so it's a way to describe something. It's kind of like a common language people use to show what is going on. All right, it's like a common math language. Okay, here's an example that people will use sometimes. How are you feeling today? All right, so somebody might say, for example, I am feeling 100%. Okay, that means they're feeling pretty awesome. That means they're feeling 100 out of 100. Okay, that's what percent means. It's comparing a number out of 100. They are feeling like really good. All right, someone might be feeling like, I don't know. I'm feeling about 50% today. Okay, so that really means they're feeling 50 out of 100. Okay, so they're feeling kind of like half and half. Half okay, half not okay. All right. You can also go way beyond that. Someone might be feeling, man, I am feeling 250%. Okay, that person is feeling just super duper. All right. So that really means they're feeling 250 out of 100. Okay, so they're feeling like even way above beyond 100. Okay, they are just like in a great mood. All right, so there's some different examples of how percents are used and what it means. Let's take a look at how percents can be written. All right, a percent can be written obviously as just a percent. That's the most common way it's written. Like, for example, we'll just go with an 18%. Okay, a percent, if it's written like that, it has that percentage sign. All right. We can also write a percent as a fraction. Okay, we can change this 18% to a fraction, and that means, looking back at our definition, it's a number out of 100. Okay, so this 18% is really 18 out of 100. Okay, that would be the fraction. It's 18 out of 100. That's what the percentage sign means. Okay, we can also take this fraction, we can make that into a decimal to show a percent by doing what we did earlier in chapter 3 by dividing. We can take this fraction, turn it into a decimal, take 18 divided by 100. Okay, now remember, 100 does not go into 18, so that's where we have to add our little decimal point there in our 0, and our decimal point goes straight up here. Now we're taking 100 into 180. That's going to go in there one time. 100 times 1 is 100. Take that away. We have 80. Still got a remainder. Don't want it. Drop a 0. 100 goes into 800 8 times. All right. So that would come out to 0.18. All right, it's three different ways that we can show how a percent can be written. All right, but we don't have to go through all these steps. We're going to do some shortcuts here. That's what I'm all about. So I'm going to show you guys some different things here. We're going to talk about the next slide here, how we can change a decimal number to a percent to show it as a percent, and a percent to a decimal number. Back and forth. Decimal to percent, percent to a decimal number. All right? So without doing all that division that we just did, here's what we can do. To change a decimal number to a percent, move the decimal 2 places to the right. All right? That's what we're going to do. So like this example right here, we have 0.25. If I wanted to show what that would be in percent form, take this decimal here, move that puppy 2 places to the right. It's going to go right there. So now we have 25. And remember, if a decimal is at the end of the number and there's nothing else there, we can really just not even like put it right here. We don't need that. So then we just add our percentage sign after that. We move the decimal 2 places, add your percentage sign. 0.25 is the same as 25%. All right? Same with this one here. We can take this 0.825. If I take this decimal, I can move it 2 places to the right, put it right there. That's going to make it look like this, 82.5. All right? That's okay. Percents can have decimals numbers with them. So that would be 82.5%. All right, changing that decimal to a percent. Now we got this one right here. We got 3.56. Make it into a percent. Move that decimal 2 places to the right. It's now at the end of the number, which means we can drop it, say goodbye to it. So that can be 356%. All right. Now what about this one, this 7 all by itself? A lot of people would look at this 7 and be like, oh, we can just make that 7%, right? No, I'm sorry, we can't do that. It's not that simple. All right, we can't just make it 7%. We do have to move the decimal, but there is no decimal. So guys, just give it a decimal. Put a decimal right there. Move that decimal 2 places to the right. 1, 2. Now it's going to go right there. Remember what we do with empty spaces? That's right, we fill those with zeros. There we go. And that gives us 700%. Okay? Now you may be thinking like, well, that doesn't really make sense. Why does 7 turn into 700%? Why can't it just be 7%? Okay? For those of you that really care about math stuff, I know there's a few of you out there. I'm going to show you why. All right? So those of you that care, all right, don't deny it. Some of you guys like math stuff, so I'm going to show you. So let's just take this 7 and let's write that as a fraction. Okay? Let's make it, if we were going to write 7 as a fraction, it'd be 7 over 1. Okay? And 7 over 1, remember a percent is a number out of 100. Okay, so going back to this slide right here, if we're making a fraction from a percent, we got to have 100 on the bottom because it's a number out of 100. All right? So I'm just going right back here. So to take 7 over 1 and get 100 on the bottom of it, what I need to do is I need to multiply this whole entire fraction by 100. That'll give me 100 there. And that'll give me 700 up here. Okay, now that fraction is written as a percentage, which it's 700 on top, which is exactly what we had right there. Okay, that's why 7 can't be 7% because its fraction is 7 over 1, but it needs to be 700 over 100 because a percent is out of 100. Okay, so I know some of you guys appreciated that, maybe some of you didn't, but let's move on to the next part. Let's go the other way. Let's change a percent to a decimal number. So we're just going to do the opposite now. We're going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. All right, piece of cake, not too bad. So here we got 35%. Uh-oh, we don't have a decimal there. Not a problem, don't worry about it. Remember, if there's none there, stick one right there at the end of it. Okay, and then move that decimal 2 places to the left. It's going to go right there. So now we're going to drop the percent sign, and it's going to be 0.35. All right. This number over here, it already has a decimal point. That's kind of nice. Take that decimal point, move it 2 places to the left, put it right there, drop your percentage. 0.425 would be our decimal number. Okay, just going the opposite way. We got 2.18%. Okay, kind of a weird percentage, but that's all right. Take that decimal point 2 places to the left, put it right there, empty space. Give that guy a 0. Drop your percentage sign. It's going to be 0.0218 is going to be our decimal number for that one. All right. And last one over here, look at this. We got a very, very small percentage, a weird one, 0.67%. All right. No problem. Take that decimal 2 places to the left. Empty spaces. Get some zeros in there, guys. All right. Drop your percentage sign. Rewrite that as, let's go with 0.0067. All right. There we go for fractions to, decimals and percents, changing those back and forth. Let's take a look at fractions to a percent. Kind of the same thing we just did. We just got one extra step. It's going to actually involve 2 steps. All right. All of them that we've done before. Change the fraction to a decimal. That's what we got to do first. Okay. Which we did in chapter 3. After that, we're going to change the decimal to a percent, just like we did up above. All right, so let's check out a couple problems here. Here we got a fraction 2/5. All right, if we want to make that into a decimal, we got to take the number on top, divide it by the number on the bottom. 2 goes on the inside, 5 on the outside. Here's our situation. 5 doesn't go into 2, so that's where we put a decimal point, add a 0, stick your decimal right up here on top. 5 will go into 20. 5 goes into 24 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract that. You got a remainder of 0. So that comes out to 0.4. And then remember, to make that into a percent, we would just move the decimal point 2 places to the right, put it there, give yourself a 0. It's at the end of the number, drop it, 40%, just like that. Okay? Same with 3/8. 3/8, we got to take 3, divide that by 8. All right, just like we've done before, guys. Nothing really new going on here. All right, put a 0 right there. Your decimal point is going to go right up there where you put the 0. 8 goes into 30. That's going to go in there. Oh, hold on, got a phone call, guys. Gonna have to pause this. All right, we're back. Let's go ahead and continue this. Like I was saying, 8 goes into 30. That's going to be 3 times. 3 times 8, 24. Subtract that. I know I'm going to be left with 6. All right, I'm just going through this one a little quicker because we've done these before. Got a remainder, add a 0, drop it down. We got 60. 8 goes into 60 7 times. 8 times 7, 56. Take 56 away. You got a 4, a 0. Bring that down. 40. 8 goes into 40 5 times, and I know it's going to be have no remainder after that, so I got 0.375 is my decimal. 0.375. Change that into a percent. Take your decimal point, move that 2 places to the right, put it right there, so it's going to go right in between the 7 and the 5. 37.5, and then get your nice little percentage symbol on that. All right. Now, what about this guy here? If you guys recognize this, this is going to be a repeating decimal. All right. If we show the math on that real quick, we're going to have 1 on the inside, 3 on the outside. 3 doesn't go into 1. Add a 0. Put your decimal point up there. 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3, 9. Take that away. You get a remainder of 1. Add a 0. Drop it down. And look at that. It's going to be a repeater. It's going to keep going 3, 3, 3s all the way through. All right. No problem. That's our answer. So we're going to put 0.33. And we know it's going to keep repeating. So we'll just take this decimal point, move it 2 places to the right, put it right there. And we're still going to have 3's after this, right? Because it keeps on going and going because it repeats. So we can just write it 33.3%. We can leave it rounded like that. You could also put a line there to show it's going to keep repeating. Either one is going to be fine. All right, we'll accept that answer. All right, that is it, guys. That is some things about percentages. When you guys come back to class, we will go ahead and work out some more problems just like this. Don't forget to try this problems. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time in class.